Welcome to the Tribe of Freedom podcast. Scotty Mortimer here. This is going to be an exciting conversation. I am joined today with Rameka Chin.
Hey, brother.
How you doing, brother?
Hey,
you
everybody.
good?
Yeah, awesome.
You ready for this?
Ready to get in?
Man, we've known each other, I think, about 6 years now. I was thinking about it yesterday.
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly that. We came together, the tribes gatherings, bringing the people together. And you have founded a movement called Sacred Revolution. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm really keen to dive into that conversation. When did you start Sacred Revolution?
So the Sacred Revolution really came about, I think it's only been roughly 2 months now.
Okay. So since the whole lockdown thing started.
Since everything started. And, you know, yourself included, we've felt like something has been needed amongst the community, amongst the world population with everything that's going on, everything that we feel, everything that we see, everything that we hear. You know, messages that we receive ourselves through our own intuition, through our own guides. Sacred Revolution really came around when I was sitting one day and it's just like something needs to be done. And, you know, I had countless people message me from all around the world asking, bro, what are we doing? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And it's just like, okay, cool. So best thing to do, listen, right? Listen to the people, listen to my intuition, my guides. And it dropped in like, because I'm so big on things being sacred and remembering the sacred, because the sacredness of life to me is what has been separated from the people for so long.
Yes, exactly.
And it's when we remember the sacred within ourselves and within the planet, within humanity, that we can actually do something about that and find a way forwards together as one. And then there was the revolution side of it, where it's just like the fire, right? It's the fire in me. It's just like, yeah, we got to do something, right? But it's understanding too, the revolution is not about being violent. No. If we look at history, things of the past, you know, it's really been take to the streets, like what we're seeing now.
In America,
where I'm all for protests, but when they turn into riots and violence and hurting people in their businesses and stuff like that, it's not cool. No. Which is why it was a sacred revolution, because the revolution is about being sacred. It's about remembering who we are, because as a good friend of mine has said, the revolution begins within. Right.
Absolutely.
It's all about the way you wanna charge the way forwards, you gotta go within. Because once you can go in here, it's gonna go out there. And that's where we stand together. Right, because if you do not know yourself within, when you step out onto those streets, you're not going to know yourself out there. And all the pain, the hurt, and the trauma that you've been running from is going to come out in anger. It's going to come out in violence, because you have chosen not to face that. So this is why a sacred revolution, you go on that journey within, and then when you're ready, I'm getting like...
Get it, bro. Bring it.
When you get that within and you understand who you are, or even begin that journey, then you find that you are looking at more responsible ways of how to stand, of how to speak, of how to share, of how you show up on social media, of how you show up in person. You know, so that's really where Sacred Revolution came from. It's about uniting the people, all peoples, through the awakening within.
Beautiful. Yeah. I remember just over a year ago, we were, you want to get on that? You can do that? Oh, sweet. About a year ago, you performed, could have been a year and a half ago, performed the Haka with Maria. I remember at the at the event, the Freedom event. Dude, you shook that whole room. And I've known you a long time, but seeing you in that space of that embodied warrior, but then knowing you as a healer, a channel, the man with the crystals, you know, you've got this loving, you know, beautiful spiritual nature connection, but you also carry this like, oh, rip off your head type of energy, really well embodied. And I think it's lovely what you're talking about, that sacred revolution, like that you've got the fire, that masculine, like, I'll put my foot down, by tapping into that sacredness within us. I think what you're doing, you're bringing out the embodiment of the integration of the masculine and feminine. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, thank you. that's been a journey in itself, bro. Because there are parts of me sometimes where it's just like I can feel that unbalanced side of that, where it's just like, screw this, let's take to the streets, let's cause mayhem and blah, 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 blah. But it's just like being responsible with the energy and the vibration that you carry and understanding that people look to you as a leader.
Yeah.
Whether you consider yourself a leader or not, people look to you as a leader for hope, for faith, for belief, for courage, for strength, for whatever else it may be, to guide them on their path back to who they are so that they can do the same thing for themselves and who they connect to in their communities.
Have you always seen yourself as a leader? Like, I've known you for a long time, you've been in community and stepping up. Is this something that's inbuilt in you, or people have just sort of pushed you in there and looked to you and you've adopted it?
I think it's something that's always been there, but it's not something that I've acknowledged. It's only till recently that I've sort of started to acknowledge that, that, hey, yeah, I do have a voice and people do, look to me for whatever it may be, guidance, hope, strength, safety, right? Safety. Growing up, it's been many, many times where it's just like that leadership role has been there. And it's just like, well, I don't see it as that. I'm just doing what I'm here to do. I'm just being me, and if that's the bonus, the benefit of it all, then awesome.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, and probably guys that are watching now, or they may be catching this on the podcast, on iTunes or wherever, that are in a place of wanting to change things in their life. And they've probably got a lot of questions about, so much craziness going on. What do we need to do? You spoke about unifying. You spoke about sacred revolution. But in your eyes, with everything that's going on with the global crisis, the coronavirus and the lockdown, but also potentially what's coming, on the back of this, what do you believe is the things that we need to do now as a people, not only here in Australia, we can speak to Australia, New Zealand. You're from New Zealand originally? Yeah, Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Māori or? Yeah, cool. Yeah. Joseph Brown was here last week. I don't even know. Yeah, Māori brother as well.
Awesome.
So what do Australian New Zealanders do, but what does the rest of the world do now to sort of make a difference?
I guess, like always for me, it's about going within, first and foremost.
And what does that mean?
It starts with the individual, first and foremost, right? Because in my experience, all right, when we look for things external to us, we're not going to find the way back to who we really are. When we can focus on this first, find our way to who we really are, and then go out that way, we're going to be more empowered, we're going to be stronger, we're going to have more clarity and more awareness around what it is that we're here to do and who we came here to become, right? So when I say go within, mental, personal, emotional development, spiritual development, where in life do you feel triggered? Where in life do you feel challenged? Where in life do you feel, these things upset you? Why? So when you can trace all the different things that are challenging you, a person in your day-to-day life, and you trace that back like the roots of a tree, you go back to where it comes from, and then you discover how to shift through that, because there are plenty of people out there that can help you, or you trust in the intuition and the guidance that you get from your guides, because I do believe we are all our own healers, as you know, right? We all have the ability to do that, right? There's a time for the lone wolf and there's a time when you run with the pack, right? And they both work at the hand in hand. So go within, be the lone wolf, and then when you're ready, there are those in the community that can help. But it's also about having the responsibility and the courage to ask for help too, and knowing that you don't have to do it alone. So what can we do in these times, with what's going on right now, right? It's focusing on what's going on in your own country, in your own backyard. Yes, this whole thing that's going on in the States is causing a lot of drama, right? And it's being thrown way out of what is actually going on. And, if you really want to get into the nitty gritties of it all, there's a lot of things that are happening that are, I guess, basically put, there's the protesters, and then there are those that are being paid to go in and cause drama.
Yeah, exactly. And we can see that, as a game plan.
Yeah.
I got sent some stuff about we're talking about George Floyd, for those that are listening, right, about the race riots that are going on right now. Amongst all of the tension that's already in the US and the world right now there's race riots on top with the policemen and the white policeman and the black man being killed, that it was maybe a setup and that there's antagonizers going in.
There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
And there's so many stories.
We don't know the truth.
Exactly.
Hey?
And if you get caught up in the stories, you're going to lose sight of the end goal of what we really are here to do.
Yeah. And we're like, people like you and me, people like us that are listening to this, we're not feeding fear. And if we are, we got to stop feeding the fear, right? Like, it's about, what do we do? You talk about unifying. What do we do to come together, work together to make that difference?
Yeah.
And that was really where I was asking you. And I loved the first thing that you said, and I agree with it, is to go within and figure out what's going on inside you. Listen to you call them the guides, listen to your guides, listen to your higher self, whatever it is to help heal.
Yeah.
Then find other people in the community, which you've been doing for a very long time, right?
Yeah.
To help heal.
Yeah.
And that has to be the foundation.
It does. And, this is the thing. So if you look back over the past couple of months when COVID began and the world started shutting down and, it's given, while it's shocked a lot of people, while it's driven a lot of people into fear, while media have built that story up of be afraid, it's also offered a huge blessing to many people that can see it.
Totally.
Right? About now's the time to go within.
Yeah.
Where can you bring change into your life so that you are finally honoring what you're here to do instead of being lost in the day-to-day before all that started.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess, focusing on who you are, and if you don't know how to do that, well, you've got one of the most powerful tools that's been created. It's called the internet. Yeah. You've got social media, there's people in the community, like I said, and it's about going on that journey of self-discovery. Right. And it's also about getting uncomfortable. Because you're not going to learn. First, you got to acknowledge everything that's been happening, everything that's been going on, to allow for healing to take place. Because if we keep bypassing it, because there's a lot of spiritual bypassing going on, if we keep ignoring it, if we keep being the ostrich, head stuck in the sand, you're going to not only dishonor yourself, but all those that you are here to connect with. You're going to dishonor all those that are actually in the midst of all that, right? And it's not about white or black. No. We're all in this together. And it's time that we stop seeing this as you're white, I'm colored.
Yeah. Well, it's the divide and conquer. It's happening again.
And that's what's happening, right, since COVID began, right? Between those that are afraid and those that can see what is actually going on. Now, COVID didn't work. So what do we have now? The race wars.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're less pit white against black. Right? And you're seeing so many blacks and so many whites as well, or people of color that are standing together.
Yeah, we have
to. This is not the way.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly.
So what's next?
Yeah.
Because if this doesn't work, what's next? If that doesn't work, what's next?
Yeah.
And if you can fly into every single event that comes with a clear consciousness around, okay, we understand that this is what's going on. This is what may be coming. Whatever comes, I'm going to stay sovereign within myself and see the truth of what's going on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because brother, I walk with you.
Yes.
Sister, I walk with you.
Yes.
So
I love that you're about that. Like, I think that's why you and I have gelled so well over so many years. Is we both know that unification of the people, our people, is the only way forward. It's the only way forward. Letting go of what divides us. Yep. Okay, you're tall and I'm short, or you're male and I'm female, you're this color or that color, you got these eyes or that eyes, or you're this. Well, who gives a shit, mate, about the differences? It's like saying all of these trees in this forest should all be against each other because they're all different species of trees. And all the trees are looking around going, are you fucking kidding me, mate? Yeah. The only way that we can survive is to thrive together, all right? You have one lone tree by itself, that's not a forest. That wind will blow it over very, very quickly. But the trees, they don't have this idea of separation. They don't have this idea of you're different and you're wrong because of it. Yeah. We got to let go of that brainwashing as well, because it's all it is. It's a brainwashing. Yeah. It's a conditioning.
They have been conditioning all of us.
generationally.
Since we're born.
Yeah, and our parents, and they didn't know any better.
Yeah.
They were conditioned, and our grandparents were conditioned. Exactly. But the buck stops with us, mate. Because of that internet, like you talk about, we're on it right now, sharing some wisdom. Hopefully some people can get some inspiration from this.
Yeah.
I don't want my son and my children's children, whomever else comes, and my nieces and, cousins and all the young ones that are coming to have to be brainwashed, to have to be controlled.
Yeah.
Because now the line in the sand is drawn and we get to make a stand today, in my opinion. We get to choose.
Yep. It
ends here. The manipulation ends here. The control ends here. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, I agree. We are the change. So Mahatma Gandhi, Brother Gandhi, said, be the change you want to see in the world, you wish to see in this world, right? It's understanding that we are the change.
Yeah.
Right? We're the ones we've been waiting for.
Yes, we are.
No ETs are going to come down from out our sky. Jesus is not going to walk down from the clouds.
And if they do, even better. That's awesome.
If they do,
but if they don't, I'm not relying on it.
But we within ourselves have the power within ourselves to bring change to this world.
Yeah, straight up.
Right? So reacting in violence and doing all these sort of things is the easy way.
Yeah, totally. It's the weak way.
It is.
Through violence.
When you can harness the essence of who you really are, you're going to make a difference in this world.
Yeah.
Why? Because the essence of who you really are comes from source. And you will realize and understand that same source exists in your brother and your sister, no matter what color that they are.
Exactly.
Right? And when we can realize that, I believe that's how we make change.
Yeah.
It's not about the separation. That's what they want. It's not about the violence. That's what they want.
That's right.
It's not about anarchy. That's what they want. It's not about the riots. That's what they want. It's not about separation and all that sort of stuff. And who are they?
Well, that's a question that may be hard to answer.
Yeah. Well,
I call it the fear.
Yeah, because we can say so many things.
Yeah, that's right.
But we don't know.
We're just hypothesizing. Sure. Yeah, that's right.
Whether you call it like elite, whatever.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
Do you know that?
There's something going on over there, mate.
We know there's something
I'm not interested in being a part of it.
Exactly. We know that there's something going on. Our gut instinct, our intuition is telling us something's going on.
Yeah.
Right? Can you take care of this right here? No. So what can you take care of here?
Boom.
And
with the people.
Exactly.
You mentioned something that is so spot on about source and us getting back to realizing that source that is within me, God, Allah, Krishna, whatever, everyone calls it the universe, Great Spirit.
Yep.
In the Tao Te Ching, they say the Tao that can be named is not the Tao, right? So the oneness that you can name is not the oneness, right? We can't name it. But it is the ultimate sovereign, right? It is the source that we are all made of and come from. Yet look at what religion has done. It's taken that, in my opinion, or everything I share is just my opinion, right? But in my opinion, it's taken away that sacredness in a big way, and it's turned it into a man-made container that, if you do this, you'll go to heaven. If you don't do this, you're a sinner and you're going to go to hell or whatever in the Christian context. And for a lot of us, like, I don't necessarily believe in Christianity. I think Jesus was an epic human being and he came and he did what he needed to do. I don't necessarily think that he rose again, resurrected and all that. I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't really know. But either way, he was an amazing human being. And he was definitely connected with the source from what the stories tell us. Yeah, there's so many of us that don't necessarily want to go to a Christian church. I don't want to go to the synagogue. I don't want to go to the temple, whatever. Yet I know that there is a sacred connection. My feeling now is, how do we come back together as a tribe to honor the divine or honor the sacred in a context that sort of religion is trying to do, but without the manipulation. Imagine Indigenous people holding ceremony, and that ceremony was literally about honoring Mother Earth and Father God, and honoring the people and our place. Remember Avatar, like that innate connection? To me, that is, you talked about healing the sacred and coming back into the sacred. That's the question I ask myself every day, is how do we create that unification of the people around the divine source, God, without any indoctrination, without any dogma, without any manipulation or control, just the people connected in love?
Honor the shadow.
Let's dive into that, bro.
About honoring the shadow within. you know, because the shadow within, it holds all the negative aspects of your ego, your pride, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
When you can honor the shadow, acknowledge it, and make friends with that darkness that exists within, then you bring it into a sort of balance level where you can operate equality within yourself, which is then you're going to be able to see that in another person and their beliefs. Yeah. You're going to have compassion and understanding and acceptance for where they're at, because there are many paths to God. There are many paths to enlightenment. There are many paths to oneness. No one way is the single right way to do things. And, you know, for us as humanity, a lot of us want to be right.
Yeah.
We got to make the other person wrong because we want to be the right one. And when we're the right one, our ego goes, yeah, see, we won that argument. Well, if we're like keyboard warriors on the internet, you know, see, yeah, well, blah, 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 right? I'm right, you're wrong. And it's understanding that if that's the energy that you're bringing, then there's something there that you need to work on, right? There's something that you need to shine the light on within yourself that's going to bring humility back into it, compassion back into it, and understanding where you can see your brother and your sister who's a Muslim, who's a Christian, who's spiritual, who's indigenous, and just go, you know what, that's awesome, that's beautiful. This is how I do it, that's how you do it, let's marry it together, and boom, we walk this path home.
And the shadow, we're not taught to honor shadow, mate. We're taught that shadow is this thing that you got to push down and nobody should see it, and I'm all okay, you know, and then look at as the shadow manifests into depression, now more domestic violence, eventually suicide.
You're seeing the shadow play out across the world right now.
Absolutely, you know, for sure.
Shadow humanity.
But we got to bring that back from childhood and supporting our young ones to be emotionally connected. Not, okay, all of the positive emotions are good, all of the negative emotions are bad, therefore you suppress those and then you increase these. That's what we're being taught, mate, from childhood. Like you and I are both really passionate about men's work.
Yep.
So let's have a little conversation there. You're a facilitator of men's medicine here on the Gold Coast, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.
Tell us a bit about what you guys do with men's medicine. I love the name, by the way. It's exactly what it is.
So men's medicine, originally, you know, founded by Brother Lino and
Maori boy as well?
Tongan,
cool.
Tongan brother, yeah.
On the Goldie?
Yeah, on the Goldie.
Cool.
On the Goldie. And Brother Luke Hecker and Andy Archie. So there's the four of us.
Sweet.
That hold their container. And it's really about shining the light on mental health within men. It's about shining the light on suicide awareness.
Yeah, wow.
Depression, you know, all the sort of things that we go through as men, to let men know that they're not alone. To let men know that there are paths to healing, that there are ways to overcome challenges, that there are ways to overcome the pain and the trauma that we've been through. And, you know, before COVID, what we were doing is every so often we go out on a you know, 8 to 20K hike.
Dude.
Right? And on the hikes, you know, we're getting the men out amongst nature, because Mother Nature is the greatest healer there is. And, you know, we're guiding the men through breath work, through meditation, through eye-to-eye connection with a brother, whereas it's seeing another brother without these, right? So the men's medicine work, you know, that the boys created, that is now part of us, that is part of our larger community, both in Australia and New Zealand, it's making waves, and it's really helping a lot of men and families. You know, a lot of women now, they're like, well, yep, you're going to men's medicine, right, to their partners. And, you know, the shifts and the energy and the vibration that we see these brothers release and step into, it's amazing. You know, it really is.
That's powerful, bro. I love that you take the men into nature, doing something physical. You're talking 8 to 20K, bro. That's a hike.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a stroll in the park. Like, that's what you're going for, right?
Yeah.
And then throughout, you stop, you process a bit, you breath work, eye gazing, whatever it is, physical stuff, sharing a lot, deep emotional sharing and stuff. Yeah, neat.
It's getting the men bonding.
Yep, cool.
It's getting the men connected to each other, to themselves.
Without alcohol and a TV screen.
Yeah. You know, alcohol is one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So it's showing men I guess if I term it in the way of Once Were Warriors.
Yeah.
Right.
That was an intense movie, dude.
Yeah. Powerful. And, you know, the message behind Once Were Warriors is, you know, the Māori once were warriors.
Yeah, wow.
They were literal warriors.
Warriors,
Yeah,
and that's
how they live,
in the
right?
DNA,
You
mate.
protect them. You protect women, children, and land.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've lost our way, not only as Māori men, not everybody, but as men in general. Many of us have lost our way.
Totally.
At least once, right? Myself, multiple times to get to where
Me
we
too.
need to be,
Yeah.
right? But it's understanding that just because you've been through that, you don't have to stay stuck there. And that's what we're trying to bring understanding to all these brothers that come this way. You do not have to stay stuck in the pain and the hurt and the trauma that you've been through. There is a better way. You can step forward. You can grow. You can learn. You can get vulnerable. Because vulnerability, as we're taught, you know, is a weakness. But vulnerability is one of your greatest strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's in that is where growth comes. It's where self-acceptance, self-appreciation, self-love comes from.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, the boys discover a new way to be.
Yeah, that's amazing. The men discover.
The men.
Step out there as boys sometimes and come back as men.
That's right.
I was sitting in my men's circle last night, and Elliot over there on the decks is part of the men's circle too.
Awesome.
And in the circle, we did a process. We sit every Monday night, so it's a consistent. We do a lot of the physical as well, but it's a lot of sitting circles, sharing, connecting, different processes, and all of this. And last night there was a process we were doing, and I think that's why you and I get on all right. I'm the kind of guy, I'll just look you in the eye and I will tell you what I see.
Yep.
What you see with me is what you get.
Yep.
Sometimes some people are like, oh, that was a bit harsh. They said that. And it's like, but is it true? Well, it's true, but I didn't really want you to say it.
Yeah.
But I just got to say it, mate. That's how I am. I say it with love. I say it because I want to help people. And a couple of things came up last night where there's a man in the chair and I spoke what I see with complete love for this man. I want him to grow. But a couple of the lads are like, oh, you shouldn't say that to him. You know, he's a bit fragile or something like that. And at the end of it, I got challenged on it. You got to go a little bit easy on some of the guys. And I was like, man, I've got rapport with this brother.
Yep.
I know this brother for months now. And I brought him what he needed. And then there was this like challenge with the captain. And he was like, oh, I'm being challenged. And I'm like, yeah, but imagine like it's called the Samurai Brotherhood or imagine the warriors, you know, two warriors come together to draw swords or what's the big stick called?
Katana.
No. In the Māori tradition?
Oh, taiaha.
Taiaha. I always forget the name. Taiaha. Man, that's a serious weapon, that thing. And you would be training with your brothers to get ready, you know, the whole Spartan thing, sweat more, and whoever sweats more in training bleeds less in battle. And we would want to take on the biggest, baddest brother to help me to grow.
Yeah.
Yet today I was getting challenged on it. And I'm like, no, hang on a second. I'm bringing that because I want my brother to step up. If I was a samurai or a Māori warrior, I would be training my ass off and I would be trying to beat you down and you're going to try and beat me down so that we can rise up. And then when we get out in the battlefield, that's nothing, mate, compared to what I brought to my brothers in training, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I feel we need to be doing again.
And this is what I was talking about before, how, you know, you have to get uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Because you learn in the discomfort.
But we're taught that discomfort is bad.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the bigger, comfier chair with the bigger.
We don't like it when it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But in that comes great shifts, comes great healing, you know?
Yeah. And people might like going to the gym and hurting their muscles and being uncomfortable for a few days to grow physically. But you challenge them emotionally. You challenge them on their beliefs, which is just a thought they've had over and over again. Doesn't mean it's right, but you challenge people on that sort of stuff. Wiggle, we'll try and get out.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's important because we always got to be open to our truth and our beliefs changing.
Yeah, totally.
Because they can always change.
But how many of us are rigid and taught to be rigid?
Yeah. You know,
stuck in the tracks.
We're conditioned to stay in that box.
Yeah.
And when you get uncomfortable, you're stepping out of that box. And it's just like, well, you have two choices to make. You can stay the same, or you can really step into who you're here to be.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and if that's the case, you got to understand that along with it comes discomfort. Along with it comes the challenges, the walls that you got to cross and everything else.
Yeah.
But you're not doing yourself any service at all if you're just going to go, here's my box. I'm going to do as what I'm told, and that's where I'm going to stay. And screw you if you think any different.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You're here to live.
Totally.
You know.
And I've got a thing going on right now about the known and the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
The box you're talking about is the known.
Yep.
Have a look. That box has been shattered right now. Mate, a month ago, we didn't even know what we were allowed to do, from the government.
Yep.
And you're watching the TV or news on social media trying to know, like, can I do this now? Can I do that? I didn't even have a clue. The known is just being shaken. Financial system, you can't print that much money and expect it to be okay. You know, we're moving forcibly into the unknown, which is where we want to play anyway.
It is.
But letting go of the known, I feel people's like fingernails like, superannuation, good job, my mortgage is like being ripped away from people right now, and they're so afraid to let go. And yet, and I know that you're the same, I'm saying embrace it. Let go, be in the unknown.
Jump right in.
Jump right in. We have to now. It's our opportunity.
It's I guess where we are in the world right now, and it's been happening for many years now. It was the Great Awakening, right? Some call it the reckoning is what we're in right now. It's the great separation, between those that are willing to step out of there and continue that path and those that don't want to, because you're going to have those that don't want to.
Man, and you can't make them.
No, you can't, because you can't force people to awaken, right? The best that you can do is focus on yourself, go within and awaken within you upon every stage of your journey, and hope that that influence will ripple out to those that you care about, those that you love, and those that are watching that you don't even know that are watching, so that they can do that for themselves. The best way to discover who you are and what you're here to do is to jump into the unknown. And these are the times that we're in. If you want to operate here, you're going to miss all the beauty that is here, because the world is shifting, the world is changing, and you either get on board or you stay behind.
Exactly.
Right? And as the world shifts and changes, it's shifting through these different levels of vibrations. And, when you have such an entity, a force as Mother Earth, and she's going like this, and you're like, no, guess who's going to win?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So you're going to go through all those struggles and stuff like that if you're not willing to get on board. And you're seeing that now play out across the world through the pain, the hurt, the trauma, through the shadow, the dark, whatever you want to call it. Right?
And fear, man.
And fear. Fear is huge. Fear is one of the greatest viruses there is.
Exactly.
Right? So jump into the unknown, because in the unknown is where you really find who you are. You
mentioned before, you said we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Yes.
Do you know where that comes from?
I don't exactly know.
Because we all say it, right?
Yeah.
There's I'll pull it up right now. So I printed this out years ago, and for a decade, this crumpled piece of paper, well, I'd fold it, but came with me everywhere. And every time, because I lived for 20 years, I traveled the earth, how many times have I been in and out of Queensland since we met, right? And this came with me. It got given to me back in my early 20s. It's a Hopi elder, the Hopi people. The Hopi elder speaks.
Prophecy.
There's a Hopi prophecy. There's a prophecy rock where there's like carvings and stuff, and there's a Hopi prophecy about the return, similar to Jesus coming back sort of thing, but it's the people coming back. This was an elder back in the 1970s or something, did this speech, and at the end he says, we're the ones we've been waiting for. I'll read you his speech if you guys are up for this. It's really powerful, and as I said, this is something that I carried with me and have been, for over probably 15 years now, because it's exactly what's going on. The first half is quite nice, but the second half is where it really dives in. So here we go. The voice of the Hopi elder. You have been telling the people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour, and there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other, and do not look outside yourself for the leader. Then he clasped his hands together, smiled, and said, this could be a good time. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know the river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time for the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Attributed to an unnamed Hopi elder of the Hopi nation, Oraibi, Arizona.
Awesome.
Amazing, eh?
You know, cultures of the world, all cultures of the world have prophesied about what is going on now and what is still yet to come.
Yeah.
And at the same time as people awaken and they develop spiritually, right, they're downloading, in a sense, themselves, and they're tuning into the same energy and the same vibration of those prophecies. So they will receive pieces of that puzzle themselves through their own writing, through their own spoken word.
Yeah.
You know,
music.
A lot of people are getting, you know, all these messages, oh, I've got to write this, and it's a channeled message or a song or, music, right? It's because that energetic wave that has spun across the world for many generations and all the different cultures is here now amongst the people, because we are a global community now. You know, back then it was, say, the Maori Nation or South America or, you know, the Native Americans or Africa or the indigenous of Australia. They all had their own visions, their own messages, and they were, in a sense, separate but also connected, you know, whereas now, because we can travel the world, because many of us have seen the world, we're all a global community, it's rippled out to everybody, right? And now we're receiving that ourselves. People are receiving it in meditation, in visions and breath work, psychic messages and whatnot, you know. And those words, those spoken words, those prophecies, they're telling everybody, this is what's going on. This is what's coming. When you can listen to the inner navigation system, which is the greatest GPS we have, which is your own gut instinct, your own intuition, it'll guide your way on your path back to where you belong.
And that's the only journey that I see that we have, is to let go of the fear in the mind, which is that box, right? It only knows what information's gone into it already, and letting go and tapping into that intuition of the heart, the green chakra of the heart, the green of Mother Earth, you know, guiding us, pulling us forward. That is the journey, right? She's going anyway. The river is flowing very fast. All we have to do is push off into the middle, let go of the shore. I'm sure that's what I know.
Yep.
Let go of the shore and be in the middle, see who is there with you and celebrate. All right? That's all we have to do now, is let go. The river has its destination, which in the Buddhist, they talk about the river of life flowing back to the ocean of bliss. That's where we're going to, is this time of Aquarius, that Sat Yuga. They're all talking about it. Sat Yuga, the golden age, right? We're coming into the oneness. We're moving from Pisces. Right, Jesus is in Pisces. Pisces, the two fish swimming against each other, right? Moving into the water. Aquarius is the water bearer, the medium upon which the fish live. We're moving to that oneness again.
We are moving to that oneness. I guess it's understanding that, traveling those pieces in order to get there.
Yeah.
You know? That oneness is where we want to be.
Yeah.
It's where we get to be. This is the golden age. It's the coming golden age, which is going to happen.
It has to happen. It's inevitable.
Yeah. And it's having trust and faith, right? Because I understand, like, in order to do all that, a lot of people question, right? Oh, you know, can I trust that? Or, you know, can I believe that, or am I worthy of that, and blah, blah, blah. Everybody is divine source, right? When we trust and believe that we deserve all that we came here for, all that we're born here for, all that we're blessed here for, and we really jump into that unknown to discover even more of that magic and that medicine that we came here to carry, then we're going to make a difference.
Absolutely.
You know, be the change. We are the change. So it's a beautiful thing.
Have you ever heard of the gene keys?
Yes.
Oh, dude, you know about gene keys?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so quick intro for these guys.
I don't know it. I know of it.
You know of it. All right, cool. So I'll explain a little bit. Human design.
I know of it, yes.
Yeah, cool. So there's from China, there's a book. There's two real main books, right? There's the Tao Te Ching, the book of the Tao, the 81 verses.
Yep.
And then there's the I Ching.
Yep.
Ching means book, by the way. So book of the Tao and I Ching, or the I Ching, a lot of people call it. The I Ching means the book of changes. And it's based on unity. So the yin yang symbol, the circle around, and the line between is unity. And then it goes into the duality. So from the oneness to the duality, the yin and yang, and then you go into the Trinity. And the Trinity is if you had, there's three options, right? Because it's Trinity. So one option would be yang, 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 and then another would be yin, 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 and then it'd be yang, yang, yin, and yin, yin, yang, and yada, yada, yada. There's 8 combinations that can be made from the yin and the yang, from 2 when you've got 3 of them. There's 8 combinations. We call them the trigrams. And then when 8 meets 8, 8 8s are 64. Remember the math? 8 8s are 64. There's 64 what we call hexagram, which means 6. So it's when one trinity meets the other trinity, and there's 8 combinations times 8, 64. So the I Ching has 64 possible combinations of changes that can take place. But then every line is either, so it's a 6 lines. I wish I could show you on a bit of paper, but it's like 6 lines. A broken line is a yin, a solid line is a yang. That makes sense? And then every one of those 6 can either be fixed, meaning it doesn't change, or mutable, meaning it changed. So there's an infinite number of possibilities of change in our reality. And they used to throw runes like bones or coins. I use coins. And it was an oracle. And then you'd consult the book and, it'd tell you sort of what's coming and what's to go. So from the I Ching, they designed, they created human design. And human design's based on when you're born, the time that you're born, like astrology, right? But then it maps out, have you ever seen an astrology chart? It's round and it's got the houses and all of that. It's round, but around it is the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. And then from there you go into the I Ching and it tells you about your personality, about what's going to come up in your life, et cetera, et cetera. It's like a divine prophecy, man. You read it and you'll be like, oh my God, that's me. Anyone who knows human design, it's a trip, bro, how accurate it is. A man then came along named Richard Rudd, and he took human design and then took it a step further. And he calls it the gene keys. And what he believes is coming is there's an actual mutation of the human genome, meaning the DNA of the human species is actually changing. Now, a moment ago, you mentioned that there is those who will stay afraid. That he mentions it as well, the Hopi elder. There's those who be afraid and they won't choose. And there's those who are letting go of the sure, the known, and getting into the flow. And we are being guided. We will actually be going through a genetic mutation to bring about a whole new way of being, a being that is connected to source, not having to go through the cognitive reasoning faculty, but just being one. Like I imagine like Aboriginal people did here in Australia. I don't know much about the Maori, but Aboriginal people were like living with the land. They were tapped in and they knew everything about it. Like I believe we're going there, man. And what Richard Rudd's saying is that there is some of us that are mutating right now, and it's about us just letting go and trusting, letting go and trusting. It's awesome, bro. Like that excites me that is that wisdom is in our consciousness now and being shared.
My belief from what I'm shown, which relates a lot to what you're saying, the more you work on yourself, right, the higher you will develop upon your journey. the more you raise your vibrations, the more you change, the more you shift, the more aware and awake you become, right? And understanding that in itself is a journey, right? Because you're always constantly awakening. You're constantly reaching levels of enlightenment. It's not one hit. It's just like, oh my God, I woke up
one day,
I'm woke, or now I'm enlightened. No, it doesn't happen that way. You know, there are many levels to it, and you continue and you continue and you keep
how's
going.
a baby born, you know? My son took 15 hours or something from starting until coming out. It's like 15 hours of hard work to get there. You know, we would have got 15 years, 50 years, 50 lifetimes.
Yeah, the more you keep doing, and it's just like with what you just said, lifetimes. All your past lives that you've ever experienced upon this earth or up amongst the stars, wherever it may be, they're all combining right now for where we are, because we are in the greatest shift humanity has ever experienced.
Can you feel your ancestors with you? Like doing the work, and what I feel is going on is we're healing our ancestral lines, bro. And like a lot of people have spoken about that, but I actually experience it in ayahuasca journeys. Like they're there with me, and I'm healing my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my whole lineage. And they're like, come on, Scotty, you can do it. You know, we're backing you. We're actually doing that.
I guess, you know, we are the ones our ancestors foretold of. Right? And we are the ancestors of our children's children of tomorrow. Right? We are the ones carrying the light here now. All the work that our ancestors, our loved ones, our past lives put in for us to be here. They paved the way for us to be here. And whether we like it or accept it or not, we have such a great responsibility to continue carrying that light, the light bearers, right? To connect with our other brothers and sisters around the world and join that light to lift the vibration of humanity. And this is what is needed right now more than ever with all the chaos that is taking part right across the world, right? Because it's happening everywhere, right? And when we take responsibility for that light that we carry and we link in with our brothers and sisters everywhere, we start to lift the vibrations of humanity, even though we may not physically see it instantaneously, right? It's filtering out to wherever it needs to go to connect to those people so that they too can go, oh, you know what? I need to do something about this. I'm going to take self-responsibility, or I'm going to jump into the unknown and discover who I really am and came here to be. All our past lives are uniting right now for who we are and who we can be, where we're going. And the more we step outside of that box and step into this and the vibration of who we came here to be, the more we're going to raise and shift and change that DNA where we do join our brothers and sisters of the stars. Right? It's happening. We are in it. Whether people like it or not, bro, we are in it.
We're in it. That's it. Surrender to it. Stop trying to fight the flow of where we're going.
You know, Tashunka Witko. Do you know the name? Tashunka Witko. There's a more common name as Crazy Horse.
Okay.
Right?
From what tribe?
From over in Native American. Yeah. From the Lakota.
Cool.
So he had a vision that in 7 generations, the children of the rainbow will come and they will bring the change to this world. We are those children.
We are those children.
Which is why we are the ones we've been waiting for.
We're the ones we've been waiting for.
No.
There's a prophecy from Native American, again, I don't know what tribe, but when the eagle and the condor fly wing to wing, that's when the great change will take place. And that's when the indigenous of the earth and the Western, who have been totally pulled away from the earth, fly wingtip to wingtip. We're seeing it right now. Like you said, we're all connected both digitally, but, you know, us sitting here in harmony with each other. Once upon 200 years ago, 7 generations ago, my family and your family were killing each other, hated each other. Whoa, dude, like that's pretty serious. 7 generations later, you're my brother. Like my brother, not because of any other reason, that we are of the same vibration, same soul tribe, man, that came here together to do this work together to transform.
And exactly what you're saying, you know, the more you work on yourself, the more it'll raise you to the level of vibration that you can actually start to see that and accept it and begin to work with your brother or your sister, whoever they are. And with the eagle and the condor, you know, the indigenous have always been there, right? And the eagle got lost wherever it did, and it's coming back, starting to fly together.
Yeah.
But the thing about flying together in this physical experience is that, there's a lot of people wondering, what can we do? Listen. Pay attention. Right? Pay attention. Because without going into it and making anybody right or wrong, there's a lot going on. Right? And if you really want to understand how to move forwards, how to develop, how to grow together so that you can fly wing to wing, listen. Because the indigenous are speaking. And for many, they're still not listening. You've got to pay attention.
Yeah, totally. And Mother Earth is speaking.
Oh, she's speaking to you, and she's about to speak bigger.
Even louder.
Because there's some things that are coming that's going to shift a lot of
It's
people.
going to be big times ahead, man. Your crystals that you have in front of you.
Yes.
And I was saying before, you came to my housewarming party 18 months ago. I've still got a big crystal hanging from you in my second bedroom. Crystals have a frequency or a vibration, right, that they give to us. That's why we wear crystals on our body, or we have crystals with us.
Yes.
And that vibration is imbued into our energetic makeup, right? That's who we are. We're energy, right?
Yep.
Mother Earth that we are living on right now is but a vibrational crystal and deposits of crystals. And you think about the land that we stand on today, the Australian Aboriginal people, we don't know the exact numbers, but it looks like 120,000 years unbroken. They lived in complete harmony with one another and with Mother Earth, from what we can understand. We think there was 3 million Aboriginal people when Captain Cook landed here in 1788, right? 3 million people living in complete harmony on this vibrational crystal. 7 generations later, I'm the 7th generation Australian. My ancestors came on the 2nd fleet to this land. I also have Māori blood. I had another ancestor there 7 generations back, and it comes up through the lineage. So I'm proud to say that, I'm proud to be who I am, whatever. But 7 generations later, these crystals in this earth has been speaking through this, right? So I think that indigenous wisdom is not just the wisdom that the man and woman of the indigenous tribes carry, but it's the indigenous wisdom of the earth. And if we listen and surrender the separate I, the ego I, which is what a lot of the Western sickness is, right? I'm above the earth, I'll crush, destroy another whatever, it doesn't matter because I am more important. We let go of that and we listen. She tells us, she guides us back into her arms. I feel that's the greatest gift that we can have now.
She does. And to give it understanding, there's a lot of work that I do where I'll be outside and you listen. And she'll speak. But you got to listen. The winds will speak. Like the winds will blow and I can sense the shift because she's speaking, right? The ocean will speak. The animals, everything. Mother Nature is the greatest healer there is, right? But she has such a potent connection and medicine for those that are aware and those that are willing to listen, right? This is why cultures of the world, right? The world, all the way around the world, this is why all the cultures are so connected, because they learn to live in harmony, because they learn to listen, because they learn to honor, and they learn to pay respect to that which is sacred. That's why I'm saying, you remember the sacred with the earth, with these lands that we walk upon. These lands here, Australia, whether you're in New Zealand, whether you're in the United States, no matter where you are, when you wake up in the morning and you put your feet upon that earth, understand the land that you walk upon. Gratitude, thank you, acknowledgement. I see you, I hear you, I feel you. Thank you. When we can embrace that sort of energy, I believe we'll start to find our way in making a difference and really listening.
Notice the conversation that we're having about what do we get to do now to make the world a better place, the way that we want it. We haven't mentioned writing petitions to the government. We haven't mentioned protesting on the streets. What are your thoughts about Saturday? There was a big protest all across Australia, and I get sent every other day some letter I got to send to a politician or government or whatever. How much of the external, going on the street, speaking to the politicians versus going within, learning to listen, feeling the sacred over the mundane? What's your thoughts on?
Everything's a tool, right? It all has its place. Everything has its place. The thing for me personally, go within. I'll always take it back to this.
So you didn't go to the protest or anything?
I didn't go, no.
Me either. I chose not to. You sent the petitions and all of that?
Yeah, I sent some.
Yeah. Because it's easy. I just put in an email and signature and stuff. But
I sent some, and, should the time come to make a stand in that sense on the streets, then by all means.
You'll do it, yeah.
My thing is, at the end of the day, it's well, Saturday I was working, but at the end of the day, it's like, where do you stand when you do that?
Yeah, do you stand within your sovereign?
Exactly.
Or are you out there in the chaos on the streets of America burning buildings?
It's easy to get caught up in the chaos.
When you're not in your center.
Yeah.
And we're not taught to be in our center. We're taught to be followers, not self-directed leaders.
Yeah.
It's the way the educational systems for society is set up.
Remember who you are.
Exactly.
It's like Mufasa. Remember who you are. Right? But it's one of the strongest messages. Remember who you are. Stand sovereign in yourself. And when you walk out on the streets and you just be in that in your strength, in your power, in your center, then by all means, yeah, sure.
That's what the Hopi elder was saying. Don't look outside yourself for the leader.
Yeah, which is why I always bring it back to go within.
Go within, yeah, totally. And that's, my friends, the people I hang out with, even the guys in this room, are entrepreneurs, right? In my team here, everyone's an entrepreneur. We're leaders, and I'm empowering, and I want to empower as many people as I can to step in and be the leader of their own life. Because if you're following the herd is walking off a cliff, ladies and gentlemen. It's walking off a cliff.
Yeah.
We got to get back to be self-directed.
Well, my belief is we're here to create more leaders.
Exactly.
Every leader's here to create more leaders.
Exactly.
We're not here to create followers, right?
Which is old school way of leadership, the king at the top and the whole hierarchy under the, whereas, indigenous tribe, and I always go back to this, circle. Tribe. It was together, mate, and everyone had a voice. We had different weights of those voice, but everyone had a voice.
Yep.
You sat in circle, not in a pyramid. And that's really what we got to get back to. And that's why men's circle's so good, or community gatherings are good. When you can have a voice, you can connect with other people.
Yeah. Both of us have run circles and community events many times.
Yeah.
And for myself, it's always been that circle.
Yeah.
You bring it back to the circle. Right, because you're on the same level. You're not higher, you're not lower. No one's better or worse. You walk together as one. That's so important.
And I'm patient. I wasn't patient when I was younger, and
I don't
probably
think many of us were.
No, that's right. And I'm probably not as patient now at 39 that I will be at 49 or 59, but I'm noticing I'm getting more patient.
Yep.
And there's a song I listen to by Satsang.
Yep.
Beautiful band, man. And he's one of the lyrics, and it's called I Am, the song. And one of the lyrics is, my journey is long and I'm patient. I don't need validation, blah, 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 and this keeps rhyming, whatever. Yep. But I don't need validation from outside, from other people. My journey is long and I'm patient to get there.
Yeah.
And that's sort of how I feel now, like letting go of this brain idea of timeline and I've got this quarter or I've got this, financial year or I've got this, whatever, that I've got to hurry, I've got to make this work, And after 16 years, I've been carrying the same vision, bro. 16 years since I was 23.
Yep.
That's a long time to be dreaming of. We just got to come together and bring the people together and move into love. But I don't know how long it's going to take for we to unite, to let go of the fear. But I'm okay if it takes a long time too.
For me, it's not worrying. It's doing best not to worry about the how.
Yeah,
because the how will be
exactly.
done. The how will be done in every step that we take, whether we see it or not.
And that's trust.
Yeah, it is.
Total surrender and trust.
For myself, because I know you, known you for a long time, I really honor you for showing up in that way, because you've always been about community and wanting to shift things and help bring big positive change to this world.
Yeah.
And if you've got the platform, use it.
Yeah.
If you're a leader, speak.
Yes.
Lead the way.
Speak your truth. He said that too.
Speak your truth. Lead the way.
And you're doing the same, brother. That's why we're in this conversation.
Well, yeah. I have a firm belief that, if you're given a voice, you have a responsibility to speak.
Yeah.
And for many years I didn't, because I was afraid to. I was afraid of the ridicule, the shame, everything else that I grew up with, right? And it's through the personal development, through your emotional development, all the rest of it, that you discover that it is okay, that God did bless you with your medicine, whatever your medicine is, whoever you are, and you have a right. The fact that you were gifted human life upon this earth, you have a right to stand in the beauty of who you are with the medicine that you came here to carry, right? There are so many people in this world that can't speak. There are so many people in this world that can't stand. There are so many people in this world that don't have a platform as other leaders do, you know, as other people do. So in that itself, for me, is the understanding that you have a responsibility to utilize everything that you've been given, to utilize all these tools. You know, I have seen recently, you know, there's so many leaders that I know that aren't speaking. They're more worried about the paycheck. And at the same time, it's understanding that everything is as it is. Everything is perfect as it is. And I'm not here to dictate another person's journey. But it's just like, bro, if you've been given a voice, you know, and you want to stand for humanity, then stand.
Got to be done.
Yeah. It's getting to that point where it's at that point.
It is now.
Step out of the box, speak. Step out of the box, stand. Step out of the box, own your medicine, own your truth, because the world needs to hear it. You know, you open the curtains and see the world's changing every day now. Every day something's happening.
Totally.
So what are you going to do about it? Sit back and watch Netflix?
Most people are, mate. That's the crazy thing.
And there's nothing wrong with watching Netflix, don't get me wrong, right?
But as an escape.
At the same time, what are you doing? Make a difference. And it starts with the man in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The dark messages on social media seem to get a lot more traction these days than messages like you and I are speaking right now.
Like what?
Dark messages, you mean? Oh, like what's going on in the world in terms of conspiracy theories and the cabal and this and that and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So many people get real passionate and fired up. And I started to share a few things when this started going on. I went deep in the rabbit hole, but I've known this stuff's been going on for 20 years, you know? I
think it's like something that you and I have been aware of and researched for more than 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But it's just getting to that point where enough people are waking up and now it's all coming to the surface. And I went down the rabbit hole a bit and, you know, got fearful and stressed out and whatever. And I just had to make a choice for myself to say, that's not where I want to go. You know, if I'm going to feed that fear my attention, it's just going to give it more energy. So I don't want to be in that. And so I turned and said, okay, I'm just going to focus on solution, right? And I know my enemy. No worries. Fear is the enemy. Let's go towards solutions.
What can you do right now about all of that? Right? You're going to let your emotions and your energy get caught up in that, and then you feel drained here and you can't take care of what's happening in your physical life.
Yeah, exactly.
No. So when you take the red pill, understand it comes with a level of awareness, responsibility, and discernment that you need to tune into for yourself so that you can guide yourself down that rabbit hole tunnel in the right way for you. Because for some people, it's for them to go deep into that. For some, it's not for them to go into it. They have some sort of awareness and then they lift the vibrations.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, talking about solutions, you know, with this here, the Sacred Revolution, right? What it is a safe platform for people in these times to have a voice, to come together, to stand as a community, right? And it's finding ways now. So when COVID first hit and everything else was going on, you know, people were sharing their voice, sharing their opinions, sharing what's going on, finding out, learning, understanding, growing, becoming more aware. Now is what are the solutions to move forwards? How can we help people to come back into themselves so that they can empower themselves to move forwards for the revolution that begins within them?
Yeah, totally.
And that's where we're at. You know, it's about solutions now. What can we do to make a difference?
So what's the platform look like? Like what are you practically doing?
So we're about to start a 6-month platform, right, where people can come on as paid members. And every fortnight we're going to have different leaders of the community present their medicine. Every week going to be myself doing meditations and guidance for the week. That's the 6-month platform. I've got a 7-day and a 5-day challenge starting shortly before the 6 months. So it's really offering people in this platform, the 6 months, people from all levels of the community with different medicine. So we have physical movement, men's and women's empowerment, meditation, shamanic healing. What else? So many different
down
things.
that avenues. Yeah.
It's down that avenue to help people tap into these different areas within themselves so that they can be armed with different tools to empower themselves in those areas where they can better themselves, grow, and seek a different path to what they've known or what's going on in the world right now in these times. Yeah. So that they're more empowered for what is coming. Whatever is coming. We
don't know exactly. We got ideas, but cool. There's so many people doing something similar to this is what I keep getting back to. We talk about unity, right? It's like, how do we come together to collaborate and support each other? I'm seriously doing some pretty deep dive research into a cooperative. You know, like where you buy your whole foods and your bulk foods and your nuts and seeds and all that. That's what we think of a cooperative. But have you ever heard of Norco Milk?
Yes.
You know, Norco is a cooperative of dairy farmers, for-profit dairy farms that are coming together, and then they work together to go to market. So all of their milk is then marketed and distributed and stuff. That's another one. There's a big shopping centre down in Barossa that has like a Mitre 10 and a Foodland and a Toy World and a blah, 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 whatever, inside a cooperative. And as members, they get access and member benefits and discounts and rebates from all of these for-profit businesses. I'm looking at how can we create something similar to that? I'm still in the throes of trying to figure it out, where you've got your medicine, what you call it, right? I love that. I love narco and medicine for the people too, you know?
Awesome.
So he's bringing his medicine. So you're bringing your medicine. She's bringing her medicine. He's bringing his medicine. You know, you've got a platform. They've got a platform. They've got a cafe. They've got an online business. They've got a this or whatever. And how do we all gather together under an umbrella, under a membership, a cooperative, so that we can actually figure this shit out together, leave the ego at the door, leave the scarcity idea at the door, and we can challenge that because that's not real. That's bullshit. It's made up. It's an economic term that was made up. Let that go and come back and say, all right, cool, what do you got? This is what I got. Let's sort this out. Let's figure it out together. That's what I'm super passionate about right now, man. Awesome. Have been forever, right? But now I'm looking at a legal structure to bring in for-profit companies, which is nothing wrong with money, man. You know, we got to use it. There is a problem with currency, because money is a store of value. Currency is the bullshit that we've got going on right
now.
Money's
a tool.
Yeah, money's a tool. The fiat currency system that we're being manipulated by, that it's a never-ending hole and actually creates scarcity because debt is just repeated. That has a big problem, and that's slavery. We got to let go of that. But we got to exchange value. No dramas. Let's exchange value, but let's do it in a way that uplifts us all and not as being leached by central banks. You know, so we got to get to that point too. That's what I'm working on, man. Like, there's got to be a way. I reckon a cooperative could be the model. Don't know yet, still figuring it out.
Good.
But
many paths, bro.
Many paths, and we're better together. That's all I know. You're right. Like if shit got real, the warriors come together. They don't go out on the battlefield, one over there, one over there, one over there, and go like, okay, you know, it's like, no, right, let's come together.
Stand together.
Let's do the haka together and get fired up. Elliot doesn't mean haka too. From New Zealand. Let's get fired up. Let's get a strategy. Let's go together forward as a tribe, as a community, united. That's what we need right now. And I'm not saying go out there on the battlefield and fight. We've let go of that. But it is a type of fight. It's fight within ourselves to let go of the fear. Fight within ourselves to let go of the conditioning, right? And if we have to, like you said, I will stand up and say, no, that's not okay for me and my family. But me alone, it's not going to do anything. The bulldozer will roll over me. You know, if I'm there like Gandhi did with tens of thousands of people and saying, no, we're not okay with that. Now we've united and we're strong together. So my constant obsession is, how do we do that? Because we have to do that.
It's a big question.
It's a big question.
It is. Take one step at a time.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm having a conversation with you.
Yeah. How do we dance, right?
Through this, you know, social media is where everyone's hanging out. So that's why I spend all this money and have these two handsome gentlemen over there helping us produce this right now. And you guys, if you're out there and you're watching this on wherever, little plug here, go and follow what we're doing. You know, this movement is real. Sacred Revolution, Tribe of Freedom. I don't give a shit what you want to name it, mate. The name can't be named. The unnamed can't be named, right? We're just doing our best to put a title on this great awakening.
We're doing what we're guided to do.
Yeah, exactly. For this moment and being open for that changing.
Yeah. We're carrying the medicine of what we have right here, right
in this
now.
moment. Yeah.
You know, and that medicine comes from the years of life experience we have. And this goes for everybody. Everybody has a medicine.
Yeah.
Right. It's just trying to understand what that is. Looking back at your life, everything you've been through, and you should be able to connect the dots that led you to where you are today. And then there is where you'll find the seed that begins to sprout and flourish as a medicine that you carry.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing. So I'd say go and check us out on iTunes, or go and check us out on Stitcher or Spotify or Facebook if you're watching it live, wherever. And go and have a look at the other episodes. Go and have a look at what we're doing. Where do these guys find you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm in the wind.
You're in the wind. Listen to the nature. You'll hear Ram.
Facebook.
Rameka Chin.
Rameka Chin.
We'll link to that, yep.
The group on Facebook, The Sacred Revolution.
Okay, we'll get that link and it'll be in the show notes.
Yeah. Website is Sacred Revolution as well, for the clothing and stuff like
sacredrevolution.com.
But you can find me mainly on social medias.
Cool. Yeah, social
connect
media.
that way.
Facebook, Instagram, the Facebook page.
Insta. Yeah.
Insta. We'll just link all of the good stuff in the show notes here, man. And people can go and find you.
Insta is Brother Ra and The Sacred Revolution.
All right, cool. We'll find them.
Two separate accounts.
Yeah, totally. We'll find them. So, man, we're moving into some interesting times ahead of us.
We are.
We're hypothesizing of what is to come. We do not know because, as you said, it's changing every day.
It is.
When I was a whitewater rafting guide, so 2.5 years, I lived on a big river up in Cairns, it's just south of Cairns, called the Tully River.
Yep.
I rafted the Tully and the Barron.
Okay.
But Tully's like grade 4+, one of the 10 best rivers in the world for technical rafting.
Okay.
So there's big water rafting, like snow melt up in the Himalaya, sort of big water.
Yep.
And then there's technical, where it's rapids and eddies, and you got to like dance your way down the river. Big, like 2 meter waterfalls, and on 4+, 5 is the max you go.
Yeah.
Incredible experience for 2.5 years. The river is constantly changing. We would show up after, say, a big rain, and you didn't know what was coming around the corner, mate. Like all of a sudden the rocks have moved, or there's a log jam or something, and you've just got to be in that moment, like in the middle of the river, just like, whoa, okay, whoa, back pedal, we'll get over here, or like, okay, forward, go, down it.
Yep.
That's what we're doing right now. We don't know what's coming around the corner. And, people are afraid of the shore. They don't want to let go and go in the boat with us.
Yep.
But we are the guides, those rafting guides that are helping people to navigate the rapids that are coming.
Yeah.
And if, people that have been walking this path for a while, there's some people that are just super new to this and are freaking out, and all they're doing is focus on the negative because that's what's in the media. But they're like, whoa, there's got to be better than this, man. Fear, fear, fear. And you and I are reaching out a hand to those people and saying, hey, jump in the boat. I don't necessarily know where the river goes, but I'm skilled enough to read the water. So that's what we do in rafting. We actually read the water. Skilled enough to read the nature, the signs, like listening, like you're saying, right? Come with me. I'll guide you through this section of river.
Yeah.
I'll help you to learn how to read the river as well.
Yep.
So that then you can later, if you wish to, grab some people and chuck them in your own raft. Then we can have more rafts going down to the ocean of bliss. That's what's going on in my reality. That's how I live my day every day because of that 2.5 years of rafting. Because the river is life. All I did on that river is I meditated every day, I did yoga, and I went rafting with people. And it changed my life, man.
Water is life.
Water is life. And the river of life, sometimes it's a pool and it's all cruisy and it's easy, and other times
never put your feet in the same water twice.
No, that's right. Well, it's gone, right? It's gone.
Yeah, look, this is one reason why I was frustrated a little while ago, because I didn't see enough leaders speaking. But it's the same thing. You've got that voice to guide people. There's a lot of people out there that are living and operating in fear. They're giving into fear. Yet you carry such a potent medicine to help pull them out of that so that they can navigate the way forwards, away from the fear and back into love, back into the essence of who they are. So why are you not using that powerful medicine to help these people when you say that you're here to help people, but you're not doing it?
Yeah.
Right? And
are you speaking to me directly right now? You challenging me on this, bro? Let's go. No, I want to be challenged to step up more. Like that's the key to having.
From what I have seen and known of you for years now, you're there.
I'm doing what I can.
You do it. But you're always willing to learn. You're always willing to step in. And for us as men, as brothers, as leaders, that's so important.
Yeah.
You know, how can we better ourselves to help better our community? How can we better ourselves to help strengthen our medicine?
Yeah.
You know, and this goes for everybody. How can you better yourself to help better your medicine, to help better your journey, to help better those that are around you?
Yeah.
You know, how can, example, as a parent, how can you better yourself as a father, as a man, or as a parent to help your children move forward through these changes so that they can own the medicine that they've been blessed with from source, so that when the time comes for them to utilize it, they're ready.
Yeah.
They're not afraid, right? It's such a journey.
Yeah, it's a beautiful journey, brother.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's easy.
No, and
not meant to be easy.
Doesn't have to be hard, but it's not going to be easy.
No, that's right.
Right? It's a journey. It's learning.
He said, banish the word struggle. You know, it can be tough, but there's a difference between, you know, pushing through and struggling. Struggling is that like, it's so difficult. I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, I can just go for it, you know, do your best every day, push through with trust, surrender.
It's the same thing you liken it to pain and suffering.
Yeah.
Right? We're all going to have pain.
Yeah.
Suffering is optional.
Exactly.
Right? So what can you do in your moment, whoever you are watching this, what can you do in every moment to help better yourself?
Yeah, totally.
If the opportunity's there.
I love that that's your message. I mean, that's what it's got to be about. Absolutely has to be about. How do we unify? How do we come into our center and then meet other people from that center? That's how we create the world that we want to live in, my opinion. I love we're on the same page in that.
Yeah, bro. How can you listen?
Yeah, that's what it really comes back to.
What's it going to take for you to listen?
Yeah.
How can you go within?
So what would you tell people, and I sort of got some ideas myself, but what would you tell people right now to do as a practice to help listen more to the great divine spirit, whatever, the sacred? Let's use your language.
What can they do?
Right now, what's something practical these guys can walk away with immediately to take action on?
Put the phone down.
Yeah, dude, the addiction is so bad.
Disconnect to connect. Yeah, put the phone down. Or find a period of time where you're willing to put that down and tune in, where you're willing to put that down and listen.
Yeah.
Step outside and listen. Sit in silence. Meditate. Breath work. So many different things that you can do. Meditation, breath work, healthy eating, exercise, you know, healthy thoughts, processes, affirmations, going outside.
Yeah, so let's take that. So something tangible, and this is sort of where I was feeling as well. You put your phone down thing is straight up, bro. Like that's where it's got to be. Put your phone down, go out into some place in nature, which could be your bloody backyard by the single tree that you got out there if you need to. Something with flowing water or the ocean is even better. Like you got a few creeks around or whatever, and sit and be quiet and meditate, meaning just be present with what's coming inside you.
I guess, you know, a lot of people get lost in the term meditation.
Yeah.
They think
that's why I do that one, right?
You got to like, it's not about that.
Yeah.
Whatever puts you solely in the moment, you're meditating.
Exactly.
You know, when a person's playing a guitar and they're lost in the, you know, the tune and the rhythm and everything else, they're meditating. Everything else fades away, you're meditating.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? When you go sit down the beach and you tune out to the water and the horizon and the sounds of the waves and the birds flying past and the way the sun comes down and it glistens off the water and the way it feels on your skin, the way the sand feels beneath you, you're in that meditative state. All you got to do is listen.
Yes.
You know, and Mother Nature, as we've said, is the greatest healer there is. When you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling out of sorts, take it outside.
Totally.
You know, whether you hug a tree, whether you lay down on the grass, whether you sit in the sand, whether you jump in the ocean, whether you feel the cool breeze and just breathe, or whether you watch the stars. You know, you do all these sort of things, they can help you physically.
Totally.
Right? Putting the phone down. Because so many of us, myself included, time to time, we get lost in everything that's going on and lying around the world.
Yeah.
And then your energy gets mixed up in all that. Your energy gets mixed up in the technology of your phone, the energy of your phone. As you put that down, take a step away. You know, people know that have done this, what it feels like to put down their phones for a week and disconnect, or 2 weeks. And then after that, you feel, you know what, I don't want to go near it. Why? Because you're open to this again, to life.
Yeah, it was so much easier before this was plugged into. It's only been a decade, mate. It's not that long, but it's addictive.
It is. And, you know, where the world is shifting now is like just touching on 5G, right?
Yeah.
So where the world is shifting now, for me, with everything that's going on, it's not so much about fighting these things that are taking place, right? It's finding how do you work with it, because humanity is going to continue to evolve. And I believe in humanity evolving so that we can reach these levels of our higher essence, our higher self, to join the stars, right? So how do we work with rather than against, right? Because 5G is going to roll out whether we like it or not.
Maybe.
So, well, yeah.
We don't know. There's a lot of people doing their best to at least say, go on, let's do some more testing on this before we roll this out on everybody.
And that's the thing. Yeah, with anything.
And I agree with that.
Do more testing.
Do more testing.
I agree with that.
I don't know if the conspiracy stuff's real or not, but it looks like there's enough scientists saying, hey, we don't really know exactly, so let's just stop for a second and just do some testing. That's what I'm all about.
That's a rabbit hole in itself, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. And one I don't want to go down right now, man. There's so many things we can go down, but 5G is not one of them.
I agree. There needs to be more testing. But no more fighting. How do we work with things to move forward? Totally.
And the nature connection, spot on, mate. So my son's 2, Andre, just turned 2. Sometimes, you know, they got a lot of energy, man. And they're just like, as soon as I take him into nature, and especially somewhere like on the creek or on the beach or whatever, and he's just like up in everything, super chill, sleeps really well. If I've got him cooped up in the house, like we don't have a TV or nothing, he doesn't play with technology, but even just being cooped up in the house, rainy day or whatever, you know, dude, he gets frantic sometimes, man. But as soon as I take him to nature, boof. And if that's happening with a 2-year-old, that's happening with every human being.
Yeah.
That resonant, like Heart Math Institute did all that stuff around the heart vibration, connecting with nature, like the resonance of your heartbeat changes. And man, we know that being in nature, disconnected to connect, I love that. That's the future, man. We got to get back to who we really are. Not being trapped more in the mind.
Which is one powerful tool as to why men's medicine takes the brothers out.
Into nature.
Into nature.
Exactly.
You know, because you gain so much healing. Because cultures of the world know this. There's no separation. They're all connected to the animal kingdom, you know, the kingdom of the ocean, the earth. You know, when you really connect to that and utilize this tool that is for free, but at the same time honoring their sacred presence and giving thanks, you know, to the earth, giving thanks to life, giving thanks to the animal kingdom, giving thanks to the wind, everything.
Totally right.
Right? That's where you find that connection, and that is what will help you remember. There's such a sacred, potent medicine within the earth.
Yes.
Because if you look at it, right, the moon, the sun, this earth, it's the same grounds that our ancestors walked. Right? Everything that we see, by the development of humanity, the earth, sun, the moon, been around for generations and generations. So the energy that has walked is right there with you.
Exactly.
And you have the ability to tap into all of that, harness that, and help it empower your own medicine. If you just tune into that vibration, listen, and remember. It's a beautiful thing.
Brother Ra, love you, man. Thank you so much for coming in today. Thank you for being part of this journey. I'm stoked to be on your journey too with you.
Can I share something before
Come,
we close?
bro. Bring it.
All right. So, just want to give thanks to this space, the energy of this space. Give thanks to Brother Scotty, Dave and Elliot. Give thanks to everybody that has tuned in and will tune in. Give thanks to the elders and ancestors of all these lands, the energies of these lands, Mother Earth, to all our guides, ancestors, elders, angels, and beings that paved the way for us to be here, that walk with us, that carry us, that guide our way into all the troubled times and places within the world. Ask that the energy and the presence of love and peace flow through the veins of this earth, out to the areas of the world that need it right now, to bring light, hope, peace, healing to everyone upon this earth. Thank you for this moment. Walk in peace and love.
Oh.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who's tuned in, whether that's live or on the recording podcast or YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe if you're up for conversations like this, and go and find this man. Rameka Chin will link to you in the show notes, but if they just search Rameka Chin, we'll find you there as well.
Yeah.
Go and get more of your medicine is what I'd highly recommend. Here's a brother I stand by, and I'm honored to walk this path with you. And there's some people, I always say this about leaders, there's some people who are of the same soul tribe, that resonate with you. So if you resonate with Rameka, go and have a listen to what he's doing, get involved with what you're doing, wholeheartedly support it. And guys, otherwise, thanks for tuning in to the show. Good to be here.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, brother. Love you heaps. Put it there, man.
Sure, bro.
Champion. And I'll see you guys next time. Do us a favor, tag someone that you love, share this with someone that you love, and tune in. Make sure you subscribe and tune into the next show. See you soon. Cheers.
Peace.